Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Closing Comments here on April 29th. Let's dive into these charts and see how the markets played out today. Cattle market saw continued upside. Feeders and fats both pushing into new all-time highs, which seems to be a daily occurrence these days. Feeders were a little bit stronger than the fats, but upside across the board. This June live contract jumped out to a new high at almost 211 today. We did see a late pullback, but found support at our prior day's high, keeping us with a positive close on the day. Just expect to see this uptrend continue. We are starting to reach into overextended, overbought territory, so just be cautious of any pullbacks that could start to form here. But the low time frame and high time frame trends both remain strong and intact. I would expect to see the bulls continuing to push this market higher throughout the rest of the week. Next up, we got our August feeders. Today we saw continued upside here as well, getting up to nearly 298. We are just knocking on the door of that $3 mark, so I'd expect to see the bulls continue pushing to try and get to that point. It's going to be a key psychological level that this market's going to be watching, so be ready for the bulls to try and make a run at that area. Trends all remain strong here and remain intact. This cattle market is looking good and should keep drifting into new all-time highs here. Jump over to our corn market. Saw a nice breakdown today on pretty high volume. This July contract giving up the 477 bear pivot coming into the week. We did see here on our lower time frame that overnight we were finding support at our prior day's opening range, but coming off the US session open, we did get a nice quick breakdown that drove us below our bear pivot for the week, closing us in bearish territory below our key moving averages, which here are the 20, 50, and 200-day moving averages. Would expect to see continued momentum from the sellers here, pushing us down into this demand zone that was kind of created back at the end of March, early April. This is going to be a spot where we're going to be looking for buyers to step back in. As we're crisscrossing back and forth across these moving averages, not really committing to a side here at the moment. Wouldn't be surprised to see this market try and carve out a range here anywhere in this $4.60 to nearly $5 area. We could see continued back and forth here. However, at the moment, the bulls got the upper hand for the week, for the current week, as we are below our bear pivot. I'd expect to see that momentum try and drive down here near these prior lows, and we'll reconvene and decide what the next leg will be from there. But at the moment, the bulls are out of the driver's seat and sitting on the sidelines here with that breakdown today. Crude oil also saw a nice breakdown today, pushing below 62. Carrying over that momentum from yesterday, closing on the lows, getting down near 60. Would expect the bears to keep driving this thing lower after 2 days of a downside coming up from 63.5 down to 60 today. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a pullback into our current day's range, today's range. A little bit of a pullback to find more sellers here would be expected, but the downside should continue going forward here as the bears now have the upper hand and continue to have the upper hand, but are pushing down below this 20-day average that has provided resistance over the last week or two here. So be looking for the bears to start sniffing out these mid-50s going forward. Equity markets saw some upside here today, pushing up, testing the 50-day average. We did get a close above our prior day high and as well as our bull pivot for the week. We are starting to push into this tariff days range. There's going to be a lot of resistance anywhere from this 50-day average to this April 2nd high at 57.73. Got the 200-day moving average as well. Lots of hurdles to get through here, but we are seeing the bulls make some nice movement higher. Definitely showing that they are not to be questioned here at the moment. The bulls are definitely seeing some nice setups here across some of these underlying components as well. The bullish picture is starting to look a little bit better, but just not completely out of the woods yet. Going to keep a pretty neutral bias here on this market until we can get a nice close or clear above these major moving averages and see smoother seas above this 57.73 mark. But at the moment, bulls do have the upper hand and should continue pushing higher. So look for equities to remain strong this week. Across the board, Dow was definitely the strongest today. And but anyways, equities are working towards turning this thing around. So stay cautious, stay defensive, but we are seeing some good deals pop up out there. Thanks for listening. Everyone have a good night.